If it's not obvious, I'm currently on a Plants vs Zombies fan game spree. PvZ Gardenless, PvZ the Turbia, and Mis Amigos being the 3 that I've talked about so far. They're all different in many ways, and I mean many, but there's one that's pretty divergent from the others, at least compared to their Turbia and Gardenless. Minecraft vs Zombies 2. A Chinese fan game created by Querzer, it involves a tower defense game with Minecraft contraptions in favor of plants, and Minecraft zombies and other mobs in favor of the usual Plants vs Zombies zombies. There's 2 versions of the game, one made with Game Maker Studio 2 up until the 4th chapter. Yes, the game is run by chapters, it's kinda awesome how they handle the story honestly, whereas the current version is now made in Unity, the same engine they used and replanted. Obviously you viewers notice that it's a sequel. Why am I covering the sequel rather than the first game? Well, the first one, Minecraft BA vs Zombies, is just the first Plants vs Zombies but reskinned with Minecraft blocks. At least that's what the page says. I can't find any gameplay or anything. The game is completely extinct. But the second game is completely different, and you're gonna see. Starting off the game, we meet Crazy Dave, who's a villager in white clothes now.
Dr. Trayaurus, what are you doing?
Welcoming us back. Probably referencing the first game or something, I wouldn't know. Here are the plants that we're introduced to. They're pretty simple for now. The dispenser is pea shooter, the furnace is sunflower, obsidian is walnut, and a mine TNT is potato mine. There's no more sun anymore. It's redstone, where you buy contraptions. It doesn't fall from the sky either. There's a machine that produces redstone now. After the prologue, which is honestly just normal Plants vs Zombies gameplay, we unlock a treasure map, which is when things get different. It leads to a portal that leads us to a world the villager has supposedly been telling us about. A world called Gensokyo with humans and yokai. In Japanese folklore, yokai are a class of supernatural entities and spirits, like ghosts, shapeshifters, demons, etc. Is this a Touhou reference, or am I crazy? We enter a new dimension, and the villager is clearly very confused. It isn't Gensokyo. We go straight into a nighttime world called Halloween. Since it's in the middle of the night, the machines don't have any solar energy, so they cannot produce redstone. So we have to rely on the furnaces for now. We unlock the small dispenser after Halloween day 1, pretty much a puff shroom. The first day is just a usual PvZ level, though things get strange. While the villager is talking about the small dispenser, suddenly we see a witch. It's not a Minecraft one or anything, it's literally a witch in a completely different art style, who asks us for help on handling zombies. I don't know why he didn't use a Minecraft witch, but oh well. I'm assuming because they want to stay consistent when it comes to the Touhou references. On the second day, we're introduced to the Star Shard. It's plant food for the contraptions, as well as these weird looking statues called gargoyles. They work like graves, specifically the PvZ2 ones because the plants are able to attack them. If you don't destroy them by the last wave, or any wave at all really, they'll come to life. They're pretty high health wise, so you really should destroy them as soon as you can. The small dispensers help with that completely in the beginning. After we beat the level, you unlock the Moonlight Sensor. It's just a sunshroom substitute. We find out what the witch's name is. Aura, a soul sorceress. Supposedly, she's waiting for some people to arrive, though she refuses to tell us who. That's very odd. On day 3, we unlock the glowstone. It's the lantern of this game, but like the villager points out, there's no fog. So what's the use? Turns out, the glowstone is meant for ghosts. If a ghost isn't near a glowstone's golden aura, it cannot be hit or touched at all. Aura lost her almanac, and it seems like the zombies have it, so we have to retrieve it back for her, which leads to day 4, where we unlock the punch ton after. An original contraption this time, it can knock monsters back a long distance, as well as heavily damaged stones like the gargoyles or other objects too. Oron explains that the world we're stuck in is stuck on Halloween's Eve. That kinda sucks. Halloween's Eve is boring. It's not even Christmas Eve. Halloween's Eve. Wow. We finally get the almanac that Oron lost, and Oron lets us keep it. How nice of her. Even though I do dislike how much she stands out like a sore thumb, you have the villager, who's clearly a very Minecraft art style character, and then a very random art style. It kind of clashes together and I don't like it. Turns out she has a magical key that can open a portal to the dream world, which connects to other worlds. The dream world is from the Touhou Project. It's normally accessed via dreams, where the dreamer exists as their quote dream self. Oron lost his key. She really has to stop losing things. Turns out it was taken by a monster. I don't know if it's a zombie or something else, but now we have to get it. 2-6 is a Banka zombie level but with ghosts. You can't see them in the rain unless thunder strikes. There's also these random ghosts that if you bonk, they'll get angry at you and you won't be able to bonk anything for a second or two. They're another example of a clash of art styles. These ghosts obviously don't fit the Minecraft style at all, which is really strange. After though, we unlock the TNT, the cherry bomb of the game. Though, it works differently. You need to trigger it. When you place a TNT down, it will not light up on its own. You have to click the gear on the top left and activate it, but you can make it instantly explode by combining the gear with the seed packet. We learned that the monster wasn't just a zombie like I said. It's the Frankenstein's monster that took Auron's magical key. The almanac, interestingly enough, to move on to another topic, can carry additional effects through battle. What I mean is the almanac can grant plus 25 energy at the start of the battle for every 2 enemy types present, whatever that means. This is a mechanic I didn't understand at first, but I will elaborate more when we unlock the second one later. After day 7, we unlock the Soul Furnace, another pretty original plant. Well, contraption. It shoots deadly soul fireballs and burns groups of enemies on hit, but the contraption in front of it needs to be sacrificed in order for it to work. I like the mechanics on some of these plants, but it gets way more interesting later on. Trust me. Even though this plant is interesting, I don't really see myself using it. I mentioned this in my PvZ Beautiful Town tier list, but plants that often require a sacrifice or have a chance in causing consequences in my lawn aren't plants I would use. So I don't see myself using the Soul Furnace consistently as a contraption. Day 8 is like every other day, so we unlock the perfect and elegant dispenser, the villager calls it, called the Sylvancer. It shoots out knives, slicing through and dealing great damage. It's not like the usual dispenser though. It can pierce through anything that aren't statues, like the cactus plant for zombies too. Now this is a contraption I will be using a lot compared to the Surf Furnace. Piercing plants are incredibly useful in general. Although it does stop when it hits a gargoyle, it's still great for handling an overwhelming amount of zombies. Auron warns us on day 9. Supposedly, dead necromancers were buried beneath the graveyard. Something I like about this game is how creative they get with the enemies. They're not just zombies and zombies with armor, but ghosts, gargoyles, and now necromancers. The necromancers are really easy to handle in my opinion. They can just build temporary walls to block projectiles, but they're pretty easy to destroy, or at least it feels that way. I think the Sylvancer just handles them really easily. After the level, I unlock a very patriotic looking contraption. The villager then asked me if I remembered the clown fairy from hell. I didn't know what he meant at first, but he's referencing Clown Piece from the Touhou Project, a hell fairy. I think the creator is a fan of Touhou, guys. This American looking item is called a magic chest. Its design is based off this character that I mentioned before. It can swallow a monster in front of it, similar to a chomper, but it then turns itself into a star shard. Don't think I would use it though. 200 sun? Not worth it, unfortunately. Sorry, magic chest. I honestly forgot to mention the mummy, even though he's really interesting. Whoops. When these mummies die, they release a lot of gas, which heals whatever creatures around it, as well as damaging contraption. So far, apart from the gargoyle, it's my favorite monster in terms of mechanics. On day 11, we finally have the boss. The villager tells us to look out for whatever Sugiri Shuri the boss can do. What the heck is Sugiri Shuri? Day 11 works like a usual conveyor boss, but just like the past fan games, it's clear by now that it won't just be a conveyor level. Trust me, a zombie comes on screen that for some reason doesn't die. It will immediately turn into Frankenstein, who stole the magical key. The boss is really fun. When a boss is so intense that you stop everything you were doing in the background, is how you know that the level is a good level. I will say that he doesn't do that much in terms of mechanics. What makes the boss so vigorous is how contraptions break easier than before, and there are way more zombies and monsters that spawn in. There's 2 stages of the boss. When it dies, it becomes a skeleton. The TNT in the Sylvancer carry this level completely. The Sylvancer will carry period. I love the Sylvancer. Once defeated, we finally get that dream key. As promised, now Auron can teleport us to Gensokyo. But we first need to enter the dream world. In order to really enter Gensokyo, we have to look for a way to quote, access the reality world. Visually, the dream world is pretty different from the Halloween world. It's clearly more vibrant, saturated, and most of all, there's a pool-like area now, rather than the nighttime area. The villager warns us about the world being Doremi's territory. This is most definitely another Touhou reference, referencing Doremi's suite, the Dream World Guardian. He then warns us about Bakus, which are Japanese supernatural beings that are known to devour dreams and nightmares. I love the implementation of Japanese mythology and the Touhou Project. I still don't know what it's doing in a fan game centered about his Minecraft Plants vs Zombies fan game. It is a little random, and I still have a slight issue with the contrasting art styles, but I don't think the game is meant to be taken seriously. What matters is that I'm having fun gameplay wise, the contraptions are interesting, and so far, I love the storyline and the world building period. That's all that matters. The first level is finally when I learn how to use artifacts. When you're selecting your contraptions, you can see in the right side that there's a box where you can select them. The dream key can be used as an artifact as well, like the almanac. When used, contraptions will restore odd toughness and become invincible. We get the lily pad, I love the lily pad, all hell lily pad, and we finally meet another person. Of course, in the same art style as Oran. The villager still stands out completely, it's so funny. This mysterious person is heading for the lunar capital, which is an ancient metropolis established on the moon. The dream world has been taken over by blocky bugs, making the environment unstable, which is where we're introduced to spiders. But after day 2, we unlock the Drivenser. It shoots arrows at enemies, but you can place Drivensers on another to increase the number of arrows it will shoot. Think of Peapod from Plants vs Zombies 2. We learn that this mysterious person's name is Doremi, the character referenced in the beginning. Supposedly, she says that someone dreamt of us, a figure that looked the same as us. The villager teases us, and for the first time we actually talk, weirdly enough. Doremi gives us an artifact, the Sweet Sleep Pillow, which can restore 10 toughness per second. I forgot to mention it, but for some reason, in the final wave of these levels, the lawn goes dark, requiring you to use a glowstone. Though I don't really see the point, and it's only dim for just a few seconds anyway. The next contraption is definitely a little different from the others. It's a gravity pad, which increases the gravity of objects above it. It can slow down creatures, but also pull down projectiles that'll reach low-height monsters like cave spiders. They're tiny, so they cannot be hit by usual attacks. We then unlock the Vortex Hopper. It's an underwater contraption that works exactly like the Tango Cup. There's obviously hints to something as Doremi speaks about Steve's dreams again. I do believe this is correlated to someone seeing Steve in their dreams. Could it be Herobrine? I remember generally believing Herobrine was real. In fact, in its exact same channel in the old days, I had a video where I tried to find him. Obviously it's private forever, but it's a fun little fact. After the 5th day, we unlock an ender chest, where we can finally use our gems in store. Apart from that though, we finally ask Doremi what's up with the lawn going dark, and she panics, talking about something like normal, then leaving. That's really strange, right? Day 6 is different. We play Breakout. This is actually pretty fun. I've mentioned it a lot before, but I always enjoy when PvZ games take a break from the usual formula for a minigame, like Walnut Bowling, and now Breakout, where you pretty much play ping pong with the zombies, killing them with pearls. Afterwards, we unlock the Pistoncer, which is quite an interesting contraption. It works exactly like a dispenser, but its spikes can stretch to attack flying monsters, aka the gas, which cannot be attacked by anything but the Pistoncers. They also shoot fireballs, which is incredibly annoying when you have a perfect symmetrical lane and it's immediately demolished by the ghast. Doremi continues to freak out and tells us to leave. But why? Well, the world suddenly goes dark, and when it fades in again, we encounter a disturbing sight. The dream world is covered in blood now. The sea is red, and there's this weird, moon-shaped, gaping creature behind the grass now. Now it makes sense why the game asked me if I wanted blood or gore in the settings. The level design is completely changed up as well. With a red sky, very creepy looking flowers, the sun is now crying blood, and the pool is now filled with scars and blood. How lovely. Apart from that, we unlock the Totenser, which shoots darts that weaken monsters, preventing them from dealing damage. It can also use fire breath to burn enemies nearby and deal deadly poison. I love using this contraption. He's very useful, and I love his design and how it's multifunctional. Doremi is now blind, possibly from a curse, but she mentioned seeing a black horse before she did. Correct me if I'm wrong, I first thought this black horse was part of either Japanese mythology or the Touhou Project in some way, but it seems to be its own character. It's a monster, and it's associated with whatever corruption has taken over the dream world, and what made Doremi blind in the first place, named Nightmare. No Herobrine, I guess. Day 8 is a little longer than the others, which I enjoyed. I never liked when games like Plants vs Zombies 2 had purely short levels, and really easy ones too. There was never really a balance when it comes to the game, and some other games as well. It's either way too overwhelming level design wise, or way too simple on short pace. There was no in between. We did unlock the Dream Crystal. It's like the infinite that can regenerate itself, but also heal others as well. Steve is very stubborn in saving Doremi, wanting to face the demon. I was really looking forward to seeing how this creature in particular will look. Our next creature stands out compared to the other mobs. The other creatures are obviously Minecraft monsters, but this one is very weird. It's this white spider with an unnerving smiley face and a pulsing abdomen. Ill. When it's killed, it'll drop a singular tinier version, which is incredibly easy to kill. We unlock a plant that, to be honest, it sucks. It's a string that we place on a contraption and it'll fall asleep. After some time, when the contraption wakes up again, it'll release a star shard. I don't really see why anyone would use this. You don't really need a star shard enough to make a contraption fall asleep. I guess you could maybe put it on a furnace or something, or a plant you're not really using on the lawn, but if it's on the lawn, it's there on purpose. Who knows? I just don't like this plant. Steve continues to worry about Doremi. They haven't seen her, and he clearly cares about her a lot. Who knows why? They really haven't interacted that much, though I don't expect much dialogue in a Plants vs Zombies fan game. And I don't think the reason why he cares so much is because he knows her or anything. The game makes it very clear that he's in a way heroic and willing to do whatever it takes, like killing the demon. The last level of the chapter starts off as a conveyor level, but we know from the last one that this won't be the only thing that will happen. We're about to find out what the nightmare is, and it's not what you think at all. A bunch of eyes open up from the lawn and it's SLENDERMAN? Yeah, SLENDERMAN. Why? I don't know actually. It was really random. I bursted out laughing when he first came in as I expected anything but him. I really shouldn't be surprised anymore though. This game is so random. SLENDERMAN teleports around the lawn at first before giving us 3 fates to choose: Come True, Pandora's Box, and Insanity. I obviously wasn't sure which one to pick, but I chose Come True. Everything seemed fine after I chose that, but not even a minute later, I got hit with 3 options once more. I chose the Lurker, which demolished a bunch of my plants. I'm not gonna choose that again. The pattern repeated with the Lurker, Biohazard, and Insanity. I chose Biohazard. Obviously these options gave some sort of consequences to my lawn, whether switching out my plants in the conveyor level or summoning a bunch of zombies. I did kill SLENDERMAN thankfully, but that was not the end of it. The screen cracked and another creature came in. This was a nightmare. Very weird looking and bug-like. In this boss, spikes appeared from the ends of my screen that you had to click to prevent them from closing. It was really difficult honestly, and I thought I had it after the time ended, but I still died. I wasn't sure why, but I realized why later. I had to start over. Yeah, that entire thing. I was obviously very frustrated, and the second time was not any better. I died by a freaking ghast. Finally, I won for the 3rd time, and I learned a lot when playing. Star shards in this level are very essential, so the string was actually useful in this boss. I used them on vortex hoppers that were protected by the Dream Crystal. They were only on my lawn just for supplying star shards. For the SLENDERMAN boss, I only picked what I thought was the best options out of the ones given: Come True and Lurker, as the others either destroy most of your contraptions or worse. Come True and Lurker are obviously still consequential, but they're better than the other one. By the second boss, you need to overwhelm your lawn contraptions before it starts. For me, I just spammed my cursor on the spikes and completely ignored everything else in my lawn. Turns out, you have to kill this creature before the timer runs out, which is why I died the first time. I completely misunderstood the timer. I won. Doremi has her vision back, and she's not dead, which is nice. She mentions our dream again, and the grave we saw as a baby. We learned that we're not blocky, but aren't we Steve? He is a blocky person, isn't he? Whatever. So Steve is an orphan in this game, raised by Dave the Villager. This is related to the dream we had, but we can't remember or see what Doremi means. For now at least. And lastly, she gives us a new artifact: the Dream World's Butterfly. Before I conclude this video, let me finally turn into a flower again. I hope you got the joke on why I'm a creeper. Creeper plays PvZ. Creeper. Anyway, this isn't the end, believe it or not. There are still a few chapters left. This game will be separated by 3 parts. This video being chapters 1 and 2, the next being chapters 3 and 4, and lastly, the 5th chapter, which came out pretty recently. This is honestly an amazing fan game, and I'm so glad it's still going to this day. That's about it, guys. See ya.